Hello, Sectigo Summit 2022. I'm Joachim Foran and I'm calling in from Stockholm, Sweden. I'm the founder and CEO of Versasec, and I'm gonna talk to you about enterprise hardware PKI user credentials. So I plan to first give you a short overview of who we are here at Versasec, and then our product that we have integrated with Sectigo CA system, and then demonstrate how to set up that connection to the Sectigo CA and issue smart cards with certificates on that we will use to set up a VPN connection. And then finally, a short demo of a brand new feature of the Microsoft cloud applications that Azure AD now can support certificate-based authentication. And I'm going to show how we can issue smart cards that can actually be used to using Azure AD and then certificate-based authentication log on to Office 365. I started Versasec already in 2007, together with some good friends from some earlier startups that we've done. So it's now 15 years ago. So we have a big celebration coming up this year, which I'm looking forward to. We started off doing large projects, IT security projects focused on PKI and smart cards, mainly in the UK. That worked out pretty well, but we saw in those projects that we were missing a smart card management system or credential management system that was possible to use for smaller projects, SMEs, and for small projects in large organizations as well. So we started building this system, a true off-the-shelf credential management system, and we launched it in 2011. We managed to get some of our partners excited about the system too, and we managed to get a very large partner to help us resell the product. And now the product has been sold to customers in 57 countries, and we have offices in 8 countries. Our headquarters is here in Stockholm, Sweden. Our R&D office is in Germany, in Merseburg, and our support and services are coming from the UK. And then we have sales offices from Kuala Lumpur all the way in Malaysia, Dubai, and in Egypt. And our US headquarters is in Austin, Texas. So, why do customers choose Versasec? We've focused on, of course, being partner friendly is a cornerstone of our business, and that's how we managed to get to those 57 countries that I just spoke about. And the ecosystem that we are in, it is really important for us to have these great partnerships, because we see that our customers, they like to multi-source and get products from many of the players in the system. And that's an advantage for us to be able to work with all of them. And instead of some of our competitors that are maybe working only with their own credentials or their own CA system or such. So that we think that's a big advantage for us, and when we really prioritize to work closely with all of our partners like Sectigo. But optimal security, we don't see security as an add-on. So even our the first demo system that you set up will have the highest level of security and make use of of two-factor authentication using PKI to log on for every operator of the system and as well. Rapid deployment, of course, we wanted to enable SMEs and small projects to use PKI and smart cards. We had to figure out a way to do an off-the-shelf product that could actually be deployed quickly, and that's really important. And we also didn't want our customers to have to change their IT systems to work with high security, but rather let them continue to use their systems as they have without impacting the business part of using them, but rather just adding the security using standardized methods. When we talk about credential management or secure device management, it is about issuing credentials such as smart cards, virtual smart cards, tokens, and RFID badges to users, and making sure that these credentials are maintained and up to date throughout the full life cycle of the credential, and making sure that we can take the credential out of the use at the end of life as well, or maybe occasionally the credential is used or can be reused. For example, works really well if you have temporary users in your system that are given, let's say, a smart card that they're using while they're accessing the system for a couple of weeks. Maybe they're in as consultants or contractors, and then we can reuse those credentials when the next contractor is coming in. Device management or credential management, we see it as this life cycle diagram where every arrow here is a process, and a process that we can configure and make sure that exactly the correct actions are taking place in each of those processes. We believe that to build zero trust, that we still think it should be a goal for every organization. You have to start with identifying all actors in the ecosystem, and the most secure way to do that is to use strong authentication using PKI, we think, and especially hardware secured PKI. We like to think that our product enables this zero trust architecture because it does enable authentication of all the users in the system in a very secure way. So we enable logical access, remote access, data encryption, digital signatures, physical access with the badges. They are typically really well suited to also be used for access to buildings, touch, using RFID or NFC. Visual identification that we can print on the badges as well, so you can use it as an ID card. And then, of course, the lifecycle management that I just spoke about. Okay, so let's jump into the demos, and I'm going to start with the demo of vSEC CMS connecting to the Sectigo CA. Okay, so the first video, we're going to use the vSEC CMS administration application to set up the connection to the Sectigo CA. So let's go. That's the first part. Then we go to our connections and add a new connection. A CA, certificate authority connection. Sectigo CA seems like one, and find the right CA type there. Of course, we need to know the URL to the CA, so we can connect to it, and then we have this great test feature, so you can actually see that the network works. And then we check the logon credentials to the CA, that it works as well. And then we need to create a credential template, and in that template, we need to set up what type of hardware credential we're gonna use, and we have a smart card, ID Prime MD card installed, and it's important to check that we have self-service enabled, because we want to use the user self-service interface to let the users themselves issue the credentials. That will, of course, scale much nicer than having to have an operator issue each credential. Even if we have batch capabilities, so you can use a big printer to issue a lot of credentials in one go, but still, if the users can do it, that's much more convenient and it scales nicely. So we select the certificate from that CA connection, and now the connection is ready to go, and we can go to the user desktop and find the vSEC CMS user application, and just go to my profile, and if the card is inserted, you should be able to hit the issue button and select the right template. Typically, you only have one template that is enabled, but here in the test system, of course, we have a lot of them. And then we generate all the keys and connect to the CA, and issue the smart card. And then, of course, we need to see if it really works. So here, we're actually connecting to our internal network using a 40 client VPN, and issued smart card. That worked. For our second demo, I wanted to show you something that's brand new, actually, that Microsoft has enabled Azure AD to let us authenticate with certificate-based authentication. So we're going to issue a smart card using vSEC CMS, and this time I'm going to issue it through the operator is going to issue the smart card to the user using the vSEC admin application, and then we're going to let the user log on Office 365. So let's go. Here we go. We just tell the system what we want to do. We want to go from an unregistered card to an initialized card, and we select our user from the Azure AD and issue the credential. And now we're going to sign into Office 365. I'm going to select, instead of passwords, we're going to select a certificate from the smart card that we have inserted, and enter our PIN code, and voila, we're in, and we can use all of our Office 365 applications in a secure way, which is a big step forward for all of our Office 365 customers. Okay, so hopefully you saw in those super fast demos that And the vSEC CMS has a really nice and intuitive user interface that it scales well, and that it can enable fast implementation and integration with the Sectigo system, as well as that Azure AD and Office 365 that we saw at the end. Thanks so much, and if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to contact us through our website at versasec.com, or email us at info@versasec.com, or through all of our social channels. So thank you again, and continue to enjoy the Sectigo Summit 2022. Thanks and bye.